Hey lovers, happy new year. You know what they say, good soup makes everything better. And today we're turning up the heat with some tasty Oha soup. You honestly want to watch this up until the end because you've never seen this Oha recipe anywhere before. My name is Airhe and you're welcome to my kitchen. Now, the first thing I like to do when making oha soup is to proceed to boil my cocoyam, traditionally known as ede, because it takes a while to cook. Now, this cocoyam is not the regular cocoyam that you can boil and have with sauce. I hear that you cannot boil this and just eat as is because it would eat your throat. So please let me know. Have you ever had ede boiled with sauce? Did it eat your throat or is that just a myth? Let us know in the comments so that we can learn from you. So I'm just going to proceed to wash this, put in a saucepan and boil for about 20 to 25 minutes. So whilst our ede is cooking, we're going to proceed to boil our proteins that we'll be using for this. Now for this, I'm using some beef, shaki, and momo, but you can make use of any protein of choice. Now sometimes when I make soup, I like to cut my proteins into small bits like this. Honestly, it's just preference for me, but I do this sometimes because I want the soup to be fuller and a bit richer with proteins, you know what I mean. So I went ahead to add some chopped onions and some roughly blended yellow habanero pepper. See, this pepper is a must when you are making oha soup, but I just wanted to use it to cook the proteins for extra flavor. I added some seasoning. As I always say, please don't forget to add salt when cooking yours. I went ahead to give that a very good stir until everything was combined, covered up and allowed it simmer for about 8 minutes. Notice that I did not add water. If you're a subscriber on this channel, you already know that when I cook my proteins, I try not to add water at first. This just allows everything to marry each other and all the seasoning will shall enter very well. You know what I mean, right? This has been cooking for about 8 minutes and as you can see it has produced some liquid. Honestly, sometimes I can decide to continue to cook this in its own juice till it cooks properly, but because we're making oha soup and we need the liquid for the soup, I'm just going to proceed to add some water to this and cover up and allow it cook for an extra 10 minutes because I want the protein to be really soft. Whilst that is cooking, we're going to proceed to cut our oha leaves. So this is how they sell this in the market. I got one wrap for about 500 naira. Now, whilst I was growing up and up till now, I hear that you cannot use knife to cut oha, neither can you wash it. So what we usually do is use your hands to clean it like this, and then you want to also use your hands to cut it into bits like this. Honestly, the leaf is really soft, like it's very soft, and you honestly want to go for the very fresh ones. So once you cut it with your hands, this is what it will actually look like. Some people decide not to cut theirs at all, but me, I prefer to cut mine because it just gives the soup a finer face. You know what they say, I did chop before belle chop. So please let me know in the comments, have you ever washed your oha before cooking? Have you ever used knife? How did it come out? Was it black? Was it bitter? Please let us know in the comments because that's the story they tell us all the time. We're also going to be needing uziza seeds for this because honestly, I don't think that there is oha soup, as in good oha soup bowl, without uziza seeds. I like to pound mine at home, but you can always get yours pre-grounded from the market, or you can use your food processor to blend this, but I like to do it the traditional way. At this point, the protein is properly cooked just how I want it. So I'm going to go ahead to add my stockfish head. Now, I like to pre-soak my stockfish head in hot water before introducing it into the pot. First, so that it softens it, and secondly, so that all the insects that actually hide inside the head can go out. But you can skip this if you are getting your stockfish from, a supermarket where it has already been pre-cleaned or stuff like that. But I would always advise that you actually do that step before using your stockfish. I added a little bit more water just so that this cooks through, covered up and allow it cook for another 5 minutes. At this point, the Airhe has been cooking for about 20 minutes and I just needed to check to see if it was properly cooked. Now you know your Airhe is properly cooked when you pinch at it and it presses easy or the skin comes off easily. Honestly, this part is not for the weak at all. You may just want to just time your Airhe and just depending on the size and just leave it without pinching because this is steaming hot. But you can see that it pressed easy and is really soft on the inside. So our Airhe is ready. You can proceed to pound this in your mortar or you can blend it with your food processor like I did here. At this point, our stockfish is properly cooked. I proceeded to just give this a very quick mix and then you want to go in with your palm fruit extract. See, good Oha soup, you don't need palm oil. Palm fruit extract, please. You can actually get the processed one from the store. I'm just going to put a picture of what the tin looks like. There are actually different brands in the market though, or you can make yours at home. Just get palm fruit from the market as in banga and then extract the juice by yourself. Now I like to mix mine in water before I add it to the pot, firstly so that the consistency thins out, and secondly because there's usually dirt at the bottom and I want to be able to take that out when I cook. I went ahead to add some water to loosen up the texture, majorly because we're going to be introducing our Airhe now and it's going to thicken the soup. So I like to loosen up the texture for more liquid at this point, but you can always do that after your soup has thickened. So you want to go ahead and cut your blended Airhe into chunks in the soup. You can cut it into smaller bits, but it will melt anyway. You can also make use of other thickeners like achi or cocoyam powder, but I prefer to use Airhe. Now, one thing I like you to note is when you're blending your Airhe, be careful so that the consistency is not too thin. If it's too thin, your soup may not thicken as much. And also you want to also be able to know the quantity of Airhe that you'll be using depending on how thick you want your soup to be. So I'm just going to cover that up and allow it cook till everything melts. After about 10 minutes, you can see that all the cocoyam in here has melted and you can see how good our soup is looking already, and the consistency too has thickened up a bit, and honestly it will continue to thicken as you continue to cook and even as it cools down. Now at this point, I like to add in some dried catfish. See, this is optional, but if you try it, you will know why I add it in mine. It just amplifies the taste and the flavor. Then you want to go in with the blended uziza seeds, some crayfish, which is very compulsory, and our chopped habanero pepper. Then the star of the show, our ogiri. See, there is no Oha soup without ogiri. Some people call this ogiri, some call it ogilise, and it has a not so pleasant smell, honestly. But I would advise that you get this from the Igbo people in the market. See, those Igbo women, they always know the very good ones in the market, and you want to also be careful when you get this because it may be bad. So worms usually hide in the bad ones, so you actually want to be very vigilant when you get this. So you want to add that in there and give your soup a very good mix so everything combines. You also want to taste your soup at this point to know if you need extra seasoning or salt if you are using salt. So I tasted and I thought I needed more seasoning, so I decided to add more seasoning. Please, when you watch my videos, if you use salt, don't forget to add salt too. I always say that so that you will not say, you watch my video and I did not use salt, so you did not put salt in your own. Please don't forget to add salt. Mix that all up, cover up and allow this cook for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, our soup is very close to ready. And honestly, at this point, your neighbors they cannot breathe because the aroma in your kitchen and in your compound right now is amazing. And you can see how thick our soup is already looking. So at this point, you want to go in with your uziza leaves. There is no good oha soup without uziza leaves, please. I like to add my uziza leaves first because uziza is a lot tougher than oha, so that it just cooks through. Because once I introduce my oha, I like to turn off the heat. You can see how fine my oha is looking. Please, when you get oha in the market, try to get the fresh ones. After adding in the oha, our soup is literally ready. You just want to mix that all up till everything combines. And at this point, some people turn off the heat, but you can just leave yours to simmer over very low heat for about 30 minutes or thereabout, and food is ready. Honestly, you can have this with any swallow of choice. Fufu and pounded yam are the best options for me, but you can have this with eba or semo if you like. Just see how good the soup is looking. Let me know if you're going to be trying this recipe. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a sweet comment in the comments below. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. Bye, lovers.